security of justice. We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism, but now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valleys of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. It would be fatal for this nation to overlook the urgency of this moment. This sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there's an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality.
Speak, son.
1963. 1963 is not an end, but it's a beginning.
Yes, sir.
And those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual.
Yes, sir.
There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights.
Yes, sir.
Whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundation of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges.
Yeah.
But there is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred.
Yes, sir.
But we must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protest to degenerate into physical violence.
We're taking money, too.
Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. The marvelous new militancy which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to a distrust of all white people. For many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. They've come here to realize that their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. Oh, and as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? Oh, we can never be satisfied. As long as the Negro is the victim of unspeakable horrors of police brutality. We can never be satisfied. As long as our bodies, heavy with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highways and the hotels of the cities. We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote, and a Negro in New York believes he has for which nothing to vote. No, we are not satisfied. And we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I'm not unmindful. Some of you have come here today out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom has left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality.
Speak, Bert.
You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. But go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama, go back to South Carolina, go back to Georgia, go back to Louisiana, go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I'll say to you today, my friends, and so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I have a dream. That one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream. That one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. Oh, I have a dream. And one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will one day be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. Oh, I have a dream. One day my 4 little children will one day grow up and live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream. One day down in Alabama, with this vicious racist This governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day, write that down in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I have a dream. One day, every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together.
Yes.
This is our hope. This is the faith in which I return to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discourse of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we'll be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free someday.
Yes.
Oh, this will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, 'tis of thee.
My Lord. Yeah. My Lord.
Sweet land of liberty.
Yeah.
Of thee I sing, land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom reign.
Let it
Yes,
rain.
sir.
Oh, and when this happens, and we allow freedom to reign, and we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands in singing the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last.